Hello and welcome to the channel. Welcome to another Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared theory video here. Last time out, I looked at a theory revolving around Duck and, his status of aliveness, shall we say, that you should check out if you haven't already. And I'm back today with another theory video because I just cannot seem to get this show out of my head. I wish I could. Someone please help me. Oh god. But we're back again. Instead of a theory looking at a particular character, just one, I'm kind of looking at the series in general as a whole here today. Looking to answer a strange question in theory as to what order the episodes are in. Now obviously, the episodes are in the order of release, you could say. 1 to 6. Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Job's done. End the video right now. But no, we're looking at the true order of the episodes chronologically. What the timeline of events truly is. Not the order they were released, the order that the events take place, the order the story takes place. Because I feel it's a question I've seen a lot of asked online, in my comments, on Reddit, Twitter, whatever you want to say. Some people saying all the episodes are in reverse order. That's a popular one I've seen. Chronologically, that being popular. But I feel that the true order of episodes is a lot more random than that. And so without further ado, let me just dive right into it and present all the evidence I have found at least. And then at the end you can go in the comments and you can leave the orders you think it is, or any other theories you have. Always love reading them. You've left plenty in the last one. They were just a lot of very interesting ones to read, honestly. But yes, without further ado, please allow me to explain why I think the episodes are in the wrong order chronologically, what I think the order is. Now, firstly, let's get some what I'm going to call definites in place. Okay, episodes where we say this episode has to take place after this episode or this episode to set some groundwork, some barriers. Okay, so first of all, we're going to go to episode 4 of the series, Friendship, and watch as Duck gouges Warren, the eagle or worm, whatever you want to call him, out of Yellow Guy's head. Looks at him, pesky bee, tosses him across the room into a rubbish bin, a trash bin, whatever you want to call it. Inside the bin, we can notice a couple of things. Most prominent of them being The Ultimate Forgiveness, the screenplay that was written by Brendan, or Unemployed Brendan, whatever you want to call him, and shown in episode 1. In addition, we can see the apple that was bitten into by Lily in episode 3. So right away, we can say that episode 4 chronologically has to take place after episodes 1 and episodes 3, which sounds very normal, I acknowledge and accept, because, of course, 4 comes after 3 and 1. Yep. But then the next definites are, not as simple episode order-wise. And for that, we go to episode 2, Death. Now, towards the end of the episode, Yellow Guy is sad about Duck's death. He's upset. He's singing a song about memories, about remembering the good things when someone dies. Lovely. And during it, you see a variety of images he's remembering about Duck. And there are a few important ones here that I'm just going to take important note of. The two I'm primarily focusing on are these two pictures right here. Firstly, this image here of Duck enjoying a nice cup of tea and some toast. Pretty simple. A normal image, you could say. But then if you go to episode 3 of the series, Family, and you go to the scene where Duck asks the nice bread lady if her family needs another member, maybe a dad. Weird question to ask a loaf of bread, but go on. He gets rejected, and then he takes one of her children, who looks a little different to the rest of her children, puts him in the toaster, and, we can hear the mum begging for her son's life as the son gets burnt alive. Lovely. And then we look at this picture, and we can see a similar-looking coloured piece of toast with eyes. Perhaps this could be a memory of episode 3, from episode 3. Perhaps. In addition, we can look at this image here of Duck doing the crossword, or doing a crossword puzzle. The same exact image and scene from episode 6 of the series, much later on. Plus, in addition, if you go earlier in the episode, if that's not enough for episode 6 in particular, you go earlier in the episode where you see Duck reading the newspaper, and on the newspaper, the front page, you can see 2 headlines. The first of which refers to a blackout. The blackout that happened during episode 6, when Red Guy and Duck are plunged, plug too many things in, and it temporarily kills Electracy and everything goes out. That blackout. And you can also see a headline about a worm being fired for harassment. Warren the Eagle worm, whatever you want to call him. As he had mentioned, had already happened by episode 4. And so, chronologically, we are going to also say episode 2 has to take place after episodes 3, 4, and this is tough, I'm holding a mic. 6. There you go. Episode 6. Episode 4 has to take place after episodes 1 and 3, and 2 has to take place after episodes 3, 4, and 6. And so those are definites in place. But that's not a lot to go on, okay? You know that episode 2 has to take place in the back half of the season, because it's got 3 episodes that has to take place after. Episode 4 as well, probably. But it's still not like a huge ton for us to be going on, is it? So what do? Well, what I do is stay on episode 2, and I go to Duck in the Coffin, where he gets out a tape recorder he made, and he starts playing a song he made, that he says he made, on the computer. A lovely tune, of course. It's very beautiful. It doesn't immediately help us, though. It's just a lovely tune. But then you wait till the end of the episodes, and you wait till the credits. Now, over all the credits, there's some great stuff, okay? A personal preference, probably episode 4, where there's a giant fight, including a chainsaw and a knife. But we're staying in episode 2 for this one, where you hear the same song that he played on that tape recorder that he made on the computer, but you hear it with lyrics. And it's played in full. A song about the importance of shaking hands, which is very on point for Doug to make a song about the importance of shaking hands, let's all acknowledge. But the lyrics of the song, I think, could help us answer this entire theory in question in full. And the lyrics say, when you meet a businessman, you must shake him by the hand. When you meet a family man, you must shake him by the hand. When you meet the choo-choo man, you must shake him by the hand. When you meet a friendly fellow, you must shake him by the hand. When you meet a plug-in man, you must shake him by the hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 specific people mentioned in that song. In order in the song, Doug talks about the businessman, family man, choo-choo man, friendly fellow, and the plug-in man. The businessman, the briefcase, jobs, the family man, the twins, the family, the choo-choo man, the train, transport, you see where I'm going, the friendly fellow, Warren, friendship, and the plug-in man, electricity. The themes of the other 5 episodes. Duck's written a song about events that have happened, telling us the exact chronological order they happened in. In chronological order, that would be episode 1, 3, 5, 4, and 6. And then finishing off with episode 2, where we hear the song. The order follows all the definites that we set. Episode 4 comes after episodes 1 and 3, and episode 2 comes after everything, but especially episodes 3, 4, and 6, which is lovely. And it kind of works in a weird kind of roundabout way, and it kind of makes sense, you know? And, you know, maybe it helps my other theory about Duck still being dead and being replaced by Stain, because, you know, in chronological things that happens in the finale. So if you have any questions about, you know, it's Stain, you haven't seen any episodes with Stain Duck yet, but, you know, we can ignore that. That's just for me, okay? Now, we say this is the timeline of events. We have to ask ourselves how things get to fit together and how they've worked, you know, how that I've worked out. Now that we've worked it out, how do things fit together? This is the timeline that things take place. How does it fit in? And I'm going to split the series again into 2 3-episode arcs that I'm going to lovingly dub the red guy goes insane arc and the yellow guy goes insane arc. Let's start with red guy, shall we? Now, I believe episodes 1, 3, and 5 are the ones focusing on this overall kind of arc, mini arc, about red guy going insane. Okay? Episode 1, Job, starts off with red guy just wanting to sit at home and do nothing. Okay, that's what he said. He just wants to sit home all day and do nothing. He was looking forward to a good day of doing nothing. But then he'd get dragged through the song and eventually stranded at the factory, takes the job as upper management, becomes Mr. Peterson, and lives through 40 years of his life there. 40 years, grows old and grey over 40 years of life there. And then, of course, the briefcase comes back and they get transported home like nothing happened. They show they still have the memories of that day. Shown by him being upset by the loss of his lanyard and his weight gain. The beginning of Red Guy's sanity starting to be lost. Living 40 years of life and then just having that snatched away. Then we move on to episode 3, Family, where the twins come into play, and Jesus Christ, they come in to tear things up, shall we say. They make Red Guy start to question his relationship with Yellow Guy and Duck, taking the gang off to their house to see what real family is, and Red Guy becoming obsessed with this idea of finding people like him, finding other Red Guys. And in the end, all his blood is taken away from him by the family tree, before next we see him taking a family photo of other Red Guy looking people. Of course, this part could be real. He could have met these other Red Guys before he gets transported back home. Or it could just be, the blood loss from the tree taking his blood, causing a hallucination before he gets sent home. Either way, ends up back home, and he's sad. He's upset about losing these people, and maybe about losing a lot of blood as well. But he's upset about losing this family that, real or not, he felt was real to him, god damn it, okay? His mind being lost further, having 40 years of a life he lived, perhaps featuring a healthy and loving relationship with his fax printer, which is a sentence I never thought I'd have to say, but that's the show, having that ripped away. And then having a family that you found, that you wanted so much, being taken away as well. The mind, the conscious, it's slowly unraveling, like the string that he's made of. And then this arc, as I've dubbed it, about Red Guy ends with episode 5, Transport, where Red Guy's had enough. Okay, he stayed at home and the briefcase showed up and it took him off to this job where he lost 40 years of his life. And he was at home and the twins showed up and they took him off to his family, where he found a family and had that ripped away as well. He's had enough of sitting around at this house and having things happen. He wants to get out of the house and do things of his own accord for once. He's tired of the teachers. He's tired of all of that. Leslie the Train shows up. A musical number later is dead. And Red Guy isn't giving up. He needs to get out of the house. He needs to try and keep whatever small glimmer of sanity is remaining for him. And so he hijacks the train, Leslie's dead body, another sentence I didn't think I'd say, for a drive that culminates in them backroomsing themselves, as I'll put it, into the real world, becoming lost, no way out of it before Leslie saves them. But in that moment, 40 years of your life ripped away, your family ripped away, trying to escape, and in doing so becoming trapped in this desolate wasteland that looks so unfamiliar, that looks so unnatural to you, all of it, your sanity gone, Red Guy's mind finally fully broken. And then Leslie, big Leslie upstairs, sends the boys back home, ending this kind of arc for Red Guy. His mind is broken. But, Leslie sends him back home. If that's the big reset you want to talk about, then go ahead. I don't know if things are fully reset because of stuff I've mentioned earlier, and I'll continue to mention now. But at the very least, it sends them back home. And even if they do keep some memory of the events that just happened, Red Guy's mind is gone. He's given up. Okay, he's had enough. And that brings us on to the next part. Yellow Guy goes insane. Oh, God, everyone's going crazy. That's the show, though. Don't hug me, I'm scared. It'll make you go crazy. Make me go crazy. Okay, I can relate. So we're going to start this arc in the back half of the timeline in episode 4, Friendship, where Red Guy is still deeply affected by the first 3 episodes. You can tell by his interruption of the intro, where they're just singing a happy song, and then Red Guy interrupts to say that they're living in a literal nightmare. Duck and Yellow Guy just staring at him, but Red Guy screaming before it cuts and continues the song like nothing happened. Red Guy's sanity still not entirely there, we're going to say really nicely. However, Yellow Guy has also been through a lot that we can't really ignore. Okay, I've dubbed the back half Yellow Guy goes insane arc, but Yellow Guy's also been through a lot himself. Episode 1, of course, he lives through that 40-year period as well that Red Guy had. And in that time, Yellow Guy gets married to Claire. He has a baby, a child. And it just gets snatched away from him. The memory of them still there by him at the dinner table saying, my wife, my child. It is just snatched away from him. 40 years of his life with a wife and kid taken away. And then in episode 3, he gets kidnapped by a family and forced to be their mother before his father comes in and just pushes him aside. And then he has to maybe watch a little bit of Roy ripping apart those people. Which... a little traumatizing as well. A lot going on for Yellow Guy. And then in episode 5, Yellow Guy gets stuck in the real world for a hot minute. And then he hears a strange voice from the heaven before getting sent back home. That's a lot, isn't it? Let's all acknowledge Yellow Guy's been through a lot, hasn't he? And then we come to Friendship, the start of this arc that I've dubbed it for Yellow Guy, the back half. Episode 4, friendship, where he gets sworn out by Red Guy and Duck. Receives 0 emails in a year as well. His mind's unravelling even further, his own mind. Where we head immediately, he sinks into his brain, trying to escape everything that's happened, everything that's going on. Yellow Guy goes into his brain, and he hangs out with the brain friends. At the end of the episode, he's saved by Duck gouging out Warren, tosses it in the bin. We can see stuff from episode 1 and 3, so not fully reset things, I'd personally say, but we move. And the guys make up. They've been through a lot. Okay, they have a lot of arguing back and forth, but they make up at the end of episode 4. Doesn't last long, obviously. They have a massive fight involving a lot of bottling, knives and chainsaws. So yeah, things clearly not fully okay still for the gang. They've all been through a lot, so in my opinion, fair enough. And that leads into episode 6, the penultimate episode of the series, as I'd say, in this chronological order timeline I put together, where Yellow Guy's still a bit left out. Red Guy and Yellow Guy swearing him out, Red Guy and Yellow Guy calling him an idiot, Red Guy and Yellow Guy having cool electric guitars in the musical number in this episode, whilst Yellow Guy is a cardboard one. In the end, though, Yellow Guy gets his new batteries. The batteries getting taken by electricity and put into Yellow Guy. He gets these new batteries and he achieves this higher conscious, his increased intelligence and all of it, and God, it goes up, doesn't it? He becomes aware of everything, eventually seeing the staircase that leads up the stairs, and he ascends past the big boys' room and the bigger boys' room, his brain increasing tenfold, okay, tenfold, whatever you want, eventually finding Leslie at the top of the stairs. And in here we see the shovel on display from episode 2, a sign that perhaps Leslie in the second room, you know, you could use this to say that my timeline doesn't work, but I'm going to use it to say Leslie in this upper room is kind of outside of time, akin to kind of the Watcher in Marvel's What if you've seen it. Watching over events of the series, but not being in any specific time herself. She's before every episode and after every episode. She's inside and outside of time, which is, you know, how you can go over Yellow Guy with the crosswords when he gives always the opposite of below, and he tells it instead of saying above or up. Yeah, he talks about the guys above yourself and all that, because this is kind of outside of time. It's before and after everything. This room that Leslie is in at the top of the house, this supreme intelligence room you need to get into. Yellow Guy helps her out, cleaning up the house, knocking Duck's head off in the process, perhaps mirroring both the beheaded Duck in the dark downstairs in the same episode, as well as the Duck soon to lose his head in episode 2 coming after. And Yellow Guy heads back downstairs. Duck yoinks his batteries out and returns to his normal Yellow Guy behaviour, shredding the book that Leslie gave him with the answers to the universe inside. They cheer and celebrate together, having finally fully made up from the big fight of the previous episode. You know, Duck and Red Guy have their own beautiful moment in the dark, in the kitchen, saying how they miss seeing each other's face and all of that. And the camera zooms out and you can see the stairs aren't there anymore. They're not aware of them. They're back to how they were. Yellow Guys, at the very least, they didn't see it to begin with. And then we head to episode 2, the finale of the season, the final episode in this timeline. Duck is dead. And the gang are sad. They are. They've made up from their fights and their arguments. And they're sad that their friend is dead. Red Guy tries to put on a brave face at first and pretend things are okay with Stain. But in the end, his mind begins to, you know, it's already pretty unraveled. It unravels further with his friend. And he begins to mould Stain into Duck. So Yellow Guy having enough of losing his loved ones. His wife. His kids. Having made up with Duck the previous episode. He digs him up. And he gets him back. And maybe Duck beheads Stain, or maybe Stain beheads Duck. But either way, things start how they begun. The three of them. Before Duck plays his song, going over all the events of the series to have unfolded. You know. Yeah, Duck, Stain, whatever you want to say, it doesn't matter. This is the final episode right now. And they're on your episode. So yeah, it's just the three of them. How things began in that kitchen before the briefcase showed up. How they end in this living room. It's just the three of us. I think this timeline works weirdly well, overall, to be honest. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, though, please. Also, I realised that the Red Guy and Yellow Guy arcs may leave some of you wondering, what about Duck and all of this? I guess you could kind of over-arc Duck a lot as well. You know, episode 1 is something, you know, he's starting in this form like he doesn't want to do nothing. Come episode 3, he just wants to sit at home. Come episode 6, he's back to his old self. You know, episode 6, a lot of death is a lot of nothingness, not for me. I could also put in a little kind of mini theory around Duck I have. How Duck, despite claiming to be the dad of the group, instead being more the pet of the group. He claims Yellow Guy is a lot thinner, honestly. I can't really do a full theory video around it, but I do have some thoughts and stuff on it, such as the scene in Mulhove in episode 5, where Yellow Guy is shown his new house, and it comes with a house pet in the form of a dog who looks like Duck. It's Duck as a dog, and the only other dog in the series, other than a carehound, the only real dog, shall we say, being that of Hovris in the show Grolton and Hovris. No, I will not debate this. Grolton is the man, okay? Grolton is the man, Hovris is the dog. That's a fact. And it continues on with episode 5. As well, Duck watches an episode of the show that sees Hovris sweating in the heat with no water to drink because Grolton won't share any of his own, which you can kind of mirror to Duck dying in episode 2 of not drinking any water. You see how it's going. And the final little thing I'd like to add is the idea of Duck being a pet is that, and I'm sorry for phrasing it this way, it's the best way to put it, honestly, but pets are just more replaceable than humans at the end of the day. In episode 6, Leslie is shown to have a drawer full of extra ducks, saying she always has spares, but this is the only drawer she has. There are no other drawers. There's no drawer full of red guys. There's no drawer full of yellow guys. Only drawers full of ducks. Because it's a lot easier to replace pets than humans, after all. That's all I have for the main timeline theory here. As well as that little end duck pet theory, which is a lot thinner. But, you know, it's interesting enough for me to throw in at the end here when I've talked about red guy and yellow guy a lot. Like last time, let me know your thoughts on both this theory and any theories you have of your own in the comments down below. Well, very interesting reading the theories you left on the Duck is Definitely Dead video. So I'd love to hear the theories you have about this one as well. Leave a like if you have enjoyed. I hope you have, and subscribe for more. Definitely going to be dropping at least one more Don't Hope I'm Scared video with a theory about this final season. It's going to be very long though, so it's taking a little more time, but still. Either way though, yeah, leave a like, subscribe for more. And either way, as always, I just want to say a very special thank you for watching.